and wonderful reflected in her water, the blue sky. How deep it is, how calm. The sky is immense, stable, welcoming, and utterly free. It seemed impossible to believe that this was the first time the river ever reflected the sky in her water. But that is true, because in the past, she was interested only in the clouds, and she never paid attention to the sky. No cloud could ever leave the sky. She knew that the clouds were there, hidden somewhere in the blue sky. The sky must contain within itself all the clouds and waters. Clouds seem impermanent, but the sky is always there as the faithful home of all the clouds. Touching the sky, the river touched stability, she touched the ultimate. In the past, she had only touched coming, going, being, non-being of the clouds. Now she was able to touch the home of all coming, going, being, and non-being. No one could take the sky out of her water anymore. How wonderful it was to stop and touch. The stopping and touching brought her true stability and peace. She had arrived home. That afternoon, the wind ceased to blow, the clouds came back one by one, the river had become wise. She was able to welcome each cloud with a smile. The clouds of many colors and shapes seemed to be the same. But then again, they were no longer the same for the river. She did not feel the need to possess or chase after any particular cloud. She smiled to each cloud with equanimity and loving kindness. She enjoyed the reflections in her water, but when they drifted away, the river did not feel deserted. She waved to them, saying, "Goodbye, have a nice journey." She was no longer bound to any of the clouds. The day was a happy one. That night, when the river calmly opened up her heart to the sky, she received the most wonderful image ever reflected in the water. A beautiful full moon, a moon so bright, so refreshing, smiling. The full moon of the Buddha travels in the sky of the utmost emptiness. If the river of living beings are calm, the refreshing moon will reflect beautifully in their water. All space seemed to be there for the enjoyment of the moon, and she looked utterly free. The river reflected the moon in her water, enjoyed the same freedom and happiness. What a wonderful festive night for everyone. Sky, clouds, moon, stars, and water. In the boundless peace, sky, clouds, moon, stars, and water enjoyed walking in meditation together. They walked with no need to arrive anywhere, not even the ocean. They could just be happy in the present moment. The river did not need to arrive at the ocean to become water. She knew she was water by nature, and at the same time, a cloud, the moon, the sky, the stars, and the snow. Why should she run away from herself? Who speaks of a river as not flowing? A river does flow, yes, but she does not need to rush. So I invite you to take a deep in breath, then take a look up above and see the interconnected web of all existence that we started creating last Sunday, remember? And I invite you to stand, or not stand, to sit up. And there's some earth around the main altar. There's some pots with some dirt. So I want to invite you, as you feel comfortable, to touch the earth. Feel free. Get your hands dirty. Yeah, touch the earth. There's clean water also. Feel the earth, if you will. Yeah. So for the next few weeks, we're going to touch the earth whenever you feel like it, and then we're going to touch the water and bless the plants that we have on the altar. So feel free to sprinkle any plants you like. There's some plants over there too. And I want to offer a bowl of water to anybody who'd like to go outside with a partner and bless some of the plants outside in the entry. Anybody would like to go with Lucy? Yes? Okay. All right. Now, as the children touch the earth and bless the plants and touch the water, we will watch the video together. Thank you, Amy. continue to invite everyone to lift up Reverend Cox and Tom Hill in our thoughts, meditations, in our prayers. Also, our siblings in Iowa that unfortunately their governor signed legislation prohibiting transgender girls and women from playing sports, consistent with their gender identity. So she joins the governors of Texas and Florida and there are 33 other states with bills and laws going through their channels that target trans families and individuals. And let us bring to mind our siblings in Russia. Also, the ones fleeing Ukraine that also happen to be of color from other locations, and how challenging it's been for them to secure a place in the trains or be received in the neighboring countries. Let's breathe deeply. Breathing out, trusting that we are doing our part and we continue to be committed to being agents of unconditional love, grace, compassion, and peace. Let's continue this meditation as Daddy blesses us with the healing power of peace.
Far beyond the grasp of hands, or light to meet the eye, past the reaches of mind. There find the key to nature's harmony in an architecture so entwined. Like a bird whose patterns grace the sky and carry on, who join in love expanding. The message of peace will rise in flight, taking the weight of the world upon its wings. In the oneness of everything, peace is in the dance of trees who stood before the first breath of wind is yet perceived. Trust in the song becoming one with the dance, and all mysteries can be believed. Songs of lives long past that touch our own are written in the earth ever giving, and now to maintain the harmony gives to us all lives with living, for the oneness of everything. Still we seek to find a truth that we might understand and reduce to tones defined, vast and immeasurable time and space, also overwhelmingly designed. Oh, passing years just might I know the fate that winters in the hearts to be reborn in spring, to hear and to feel the pulse of life enters my soul as a song to sing of the oneness of everything.
Sublime, right? Thank you, Patty. Yes. Clapping in my culture and in some cultures is an expression of joy. So joy is not only allowed, but encouraged. So anytime you feel joyous and expressing your joy is to clap, please feel free. Clapping, if it's part of your religious frame, in your faith, please do. Including dancing too. Kneeling, laying down, touch the earth, sprinkling water. Please, this is what we do together, and whatever you bring and the diversity you bring is a gift, right? So, a little note there. And today, talking about spiritual practices, fasting is the theme of today. Out of the three-partite 7 weeks for 7 generations theme we're going with, which is a combination of Lenten, Ramadan to the best of our ability, other Jewish practices also. They encourage fasting, giving, and praying, as well as First Nations. And I have a short video that I would like for you to watch. It is by a Native American woman named Lila June. She's now a PhD scholar, but before she went full on into academia, she organized a community, she did community organizing, and she ran for office as well. And this video is about her campaign, running for office, and the practice of fasting.
Chart that path together.
Just listen to your heart.
Since I was young, people kind of trained me to think my body belonged to them. It was very hard to love myself. I thought I was tainted. I thought I was gross. I thought I was ugly. I didn't know that I was sacred still. I thought I had lost that. If I don't fully love myself after all the rape and all the confusion and all the abuse that I suffered growing up, then how can I stand up tall and lead my people?
I'm very grateful for the RN who's working with me and the MD to make sure that I don't harm myself during this fast. I'm pretty sure I won't, but I'm glad that we're monitoring my health.
47.3.
Alright. 47.3. Yeah, you can dig in, Grandma. Don't wait for us. I'm thinking about how wonderful and sacred this last meal is going to be, because it'll be the last one for 7 days.
Traditionally, we do not fast in public, but I think we're in extraordinary times and they call for extraordinary measures. And I wanted to use this fast as a public prayer only because it could get people together. It could get people thinking, and it could get people motivated.
in the old way, the traditional indigenous governance way. The job of the leader was not to make decisions for people. The job of the leader was to collect the voices of the people and bring them out. We were messengers, nothing more. And so I hope and pray that on June 2nd, you will vote for me to be your messenger so that we can create change in this state.
Wow, what a day. Day one is over. We had a really good day. About 60 people came to see the speeches. And I'm already hungry and tired, and it's only day one. But I'm hoping that the prayers will just build and build and build, and I'll be more and more able to sustain this whole prayer.
Back in the day, when you were alive, you understood that 7 generations backward, there was people planning for you. There was people thinking about you. And they had the love and the tenderness and the foresight to build a place for you. And so when you were a recipient of that love and that foresight and that sophistication, then naturally you wanted to give that to the next 7 generations forward.
Good morning, everyone. We're here at the Capitol on day 2. It's supposed to start snowing very heavily around noon, but we are prepared because we have the warmth of these cozy things and the warmth of all your prayers. We need to practice planting seeds that will bear fruit that we will never taste. We need to practice loving things that we will never meet, people we will never see because we'll be long gone. We need to have that kind of mentality. And that is exactly what I intend to do as your representative.
Right now, all the different colors of humanity need to come together for the hoop to be whole. All of us need to come together to live out the truth that we are an interdependent system. And until we see each other eye to eye, until we see the beauty and the sanctity in every single person, regardless of their skin color, regardless of their culture, we will not live out the dream that Creator intended for us to live.
So where are we going then?
I'm going to the Richard Eads show, which is a local radio station that a lot of people seem to listen to. And we're going to talk about the fast on the 5th day. Not normal going to do a radio interview during a 7-day fast, but that's what we're doing.
Capital will break the fast on Sunday at 12:15. You are all invited. Why did you decide to do this? I mean, was it just to seek attention? Is that the issue?
No, it's to pray for the next 7 generations to come, because in my culture we fast to pray and reminded day in and day out what I'm living for, what I'm working for. And I also think it's important for voters to know who they're voting for. This isn't something I do just for the election. This is something I do every year. And so I think it's good that we let people know that I'm a person of tenacity, that I'm a person of persistence, that I'm a person of integrity, and that I'm a person who cares greatly about the future of our planet. Actually, even though he's very interesting, I really enjoy it. I've learned that politics is a dirty, dirty game. And I thought I could just come in with my pure heart and just manage it. But man, I don't know. I mean, I still think I can. And I don't know why I'm shocked at how low they're getting. And these are people that have watched every single YouTube video I've ever published. They scour everything you've ever done. So they know who I am. And yet they choose to pick this one thing and take it out of context and try and destroy my reputation so this guy can remain, in my opinion, in power. And that's the part that, wow, there's a lot of people here. That's the part that boggles my mind, is that, you know, they know who I am and what I stand for, and they still want to see me crash and burn.
Democracy originally meant that the people would lead and the people would make choices and decisions together. I really believe in that quote-unquote everyday person. I really believe in quote-unquote ordinary people. All of us have experience. All of us have understanding. All of us have expertise in our own life. And that expertise is what we want to tap into to build out these solutions. The youth all around the world, they're grabbing us by the collar and they're saying, hey, maybe you gave up on climate, but we have not. And we need you to help us. That's very beautiful to me, the young people telling us to get back up and try. Business as usual has failed us and will continue to fail us. And so we, the people, need to stand up and take these leadership positions back. I feel like the fast cleanses your body, but I think I've passed that threshold of cleansing and I'm now in the space where it's just hurting my body. Good morning, everyone. It is day 7 and we made it and you helped me and thank you so much. We're almost there. My body is starting to eat its own muscle mass and I'm so grateful I get to eat today. To me, being a future ancestor means you think far into the future. My name will be forgotten, just like everyone else's. What I care about is the way that my actions echo through time. Every hero is forgotten. Every rock star goes out of trendiness. It's the effect of our actions that lives on. Like a butterfly wing can affect things around the world. And I think that healing women is a big part of healing the whole earth. Because when the women are whole, then the families are whole. And when the women love themselves, they can lead more efficiently. And when the women lead, life is put at the center. And so it's all related, healing of self and healing of the whole.
Love myself. I'm just gonna love myself. You can't drag me down, feet on the ground, but I'm so high up. You can't block my life.
So what do you think? Isn't it a powerful testimony, right? About how fasting can be used to, she used the terms cleanse the body, right? So detox the body, to be more connected to the body, ironically or paradoxically, and how fast has been used throughout history as an instrument of solidarity with the oppressed, from the prophets in the Hebrew Bible, through the practices of religious individuals and social justice agents in many different cultures, right? So how can we go beyond the idea of fasting as this experience of scarcity and self-flagellation and punishment, and into a practice that may benefit your body, actually, and benefit society around you and your consciousness, your spirit. A couple weeks ago, I came across an image. It was a meme, Pope Francis meme with some recommendations. Do you want to fast this Lent? And then I think it was last week, Joan Lactis sent me a different image, and that's the image that Joan shared with me. And if you can't read, and for folks at home, I'm going to read that. Do you want to fast this Lent? In the words of Pope Francis, fast from hurting words and say kind words. Fast from sadness and be filled with gratitude. Fast from anger and be filled with patience. Fast from pessimism and be filled with hope. Fast from worries and have trust in God. Fast from complaints, contemplate simplicity. Fast from pressures and be prayerful. Fast from bitterness, fill your hearts with joy. Fast from selfishness and be compassionate. Fast from grudges and be reconciled. Fast from words, be silent and listen. A question arose about the veracity of this meme. Did Pope Francis actually said, so there's some indication that he really did in 2017, and I have a friend that works at the Vatican, but I never got hold of him, so I couldn't verify. But regardless, aren't these contemporary words very similar to the Hebrew Bible? Some of the verses that I shared with you earlier on. So this is not really a new concept. Fasting as a concept has really always been about justice, about proclaiming a different reality and being conscious about the impact one has in society and in the world. Dale Ryan has this quote that I think will be pertinent to share with you. Lent, so even beyond just the fasting, but Lent, prayer, fasting, giving, Lent is not about scarcity. It is about preparing us for more, preparing us for resurrection. And granted, the word resurrection is very particular to Christianity, but there are other ways of thinking of resurrection and different ways of thinking resurrection. Reincarnation, the 7th-generation concept that we heard from Leela June, who was actually very generous, and I asked for permission to share her video, and she gave it to us for us to see it. You know, this living through future generations. Even if for you, this physical body, and when it's done, it's over, right? There's the consequences of all of your actions. So, how is it for you to think about fasting and expand your understanding, and most importantly, the practice of fasting? Last Sunday, we launched the campaign with lists of all the practices you could engage in both categories: inward, the individual practice, and the outward practice, right? And we expanded fasting beyond depriving yourself or slowing down your consumption for a physical body, but there are many other ways of fasting. And it is very important that we practice, right? One way or another, if that resonates with you and is something you want to explore. So I'll pause right there, and we're going to move into the other element of Lent, Ramadan, observance of fasting, praying, and giving, and we're going to move into the giving part in the offertory. So as you think about that, I have just one more experience to share, that I observed Ramadan twice formally, and to go without food during daylight for 40 days is one of the hardest spiritual practices I have engaged in. And I encourage you to reach out to any Muslim friend you may have. And Ramadan will start within the period of our 7 weeks of observance, that maybe you look at that and what it means for our Muslim brothers and sisters to observe Ramadan and the elements that fast take place, in giving and also praying. So our pledge campaign was launched last Sunday as well, and we had a budget meeting this week about what is it that we want to do, the dream budget for the year 2022 and 2023. What's the work that we feel called to do, and what is it going to take in terms of finances, of money to get that work done? If you haven't received a letter I wrote in a pledge card, I encourage you to get one. I think we might have some in the foyer and some pledge cards for you to think about it prayerfully. Not something we want to force you into or guilt you into. We're asking you to give out of what you already have. Yeah? We do take credit cards, but we don't want you to go into debt. Yes? And we believe that whatever we're called to do, we'll have enough resources to do it. And do it in partnership with organizations around our state, our town, and wherever else we can reach. This month in particular, our partners are the Sierra College Rainbow Alliance, a place in Sierra College where LGBTQI A plus individuals and allies can feel safe to be who they are, especially considering all the legislations and the pushback against the community. So you can designate 100% of what you put it on a plate to go to that organization, or it can be a shared plate, 50-50, and you don't have to say anything, you just put the money there, or any other way you would like your funds to be dedicated to. Feel free to designate that. And during this time, we would like to hear from you what you've done this week, this last week, and give you credit for it. So on the walls, we have all the spiritual disciplines, and we have some pens somewhere. Right there? Yeah, we have pens right there. You can put a little line if you engage in this practice. So during the offertory, it's a free-for-all. We get music. The ushers will go around, collect your money, whatever you have to offer, and we invite you to stand and go to those boards and mark whatever practices you engaged this week or practices that you have engaged in the past and you're keeping it up. Is that cool? Want to try that? All right. Thank you. didn't get a chance to complete your scorecard after the service ends, you're welcome to come back and check the other disciplines and share your practice there. For the folks at home, you can go to mysfuu.org/7weeks, and there's a form. You can log in and share with us the practices you are engaged in this week. And thank you for your service and for your generosity. A quote from David White. This is not the age of information. This is not the age of information. Forget the news and the radio and the blurred screen. This is the time of loaves and fishes. People are hungry, and one good word is bread for 1,000. And here's some quotes that were on Lila June's page. Make a place for people you will never meet. Practice planting seeds whose fruit you will never taste.
So, please join us in the closing words. As we go forth, may we carry the flame of love and peace with justice until we meet again. Blessed be.